everybody, welcome to Acorn and Bumblebee TV. I'm Miss Jasmine and we're here in Majestic Mission in beautiful British Columbia. We're just about to go for a hike around this lake, and as you can see, there's a little bit of snow on the ground. It was just snowing a few minutes ago. We are sure cold, so we brought our winter coats. And when I reached in my pocket, I found these magic beans. And it reminded me of the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack, and Jack lived with his mother. They were very poor, and he had always remembered it being that way. But one year was especially hard for them, so his mother told him, "Jack, you need to take our cow, Bessie, to the market and see what you can get for her so we can get some money to buy some food to feed ourselves." Well, Jack grabbed Bessie and started walking down the road towards the market. And before he could reach the market, he was approached by a strange little old man. And the little old man said, come here, young boy. I have a deal for you. I will trade you that cow for these 3 magic beans." Well, Jack didn't really know any better, so he traded the cow for 3 magic beans. He thought magic beans certainly would be better than any amount of money he could fetch at the county market. So when Jack got home and showed his mom that he had traded an entire cow for 3 measly little beans, oh, she was so cross, she grabbed the beans and she threw them out the window, and she sent him to bed without any dinner. Well, that night something magical happened. When Jack and his mother were sleeping, those beans grew and grew and grew and grew and grew up to the sky, up to the clouds. It was a great big giant magical beanstalk. When Jack woke up in the morning and looked out the window, he couldn't believe his eyes. He rubbed his eyes and looked again. It was still there. It was real. Well, Jack's mom hadn't woken up yet, and he was still feeling quite badly about what had happened the night before, so he decided that he would climb up the beanstalk and see where it led. And when he got to the top of the beanstalk through the clouds, he saw a big giant house in the clouds. Jack was very brave, and he marched right up to the house and he walked inside. And inside he saw big giant tables, giant chairs, giant furniture. He didn't know what was going on until he heard a big bellowing voice calling through the house. He realized this was a giant's house. Jack quickly ran and hid before the giant would find him. And he watched from a little crack in the closet. He was hiding in the closet. The door was partially shut, but he could just see a little bit. He saw a giant come in the room, sit down at a table, and put a bag on the table. He opened up the bag, and out poured all of these gold coins. And the giant sat there laughing and counting the gold coins. And he also had a beautiful little harp. And when the giant was finished counting his coins, he said to the harp, "Play, play, harp, play." And all by itself, this amazing, beautiful harp just started to play beautiful music. And then on the table, he also had a goose, a very beautiful golden goose. And he said to the goose, "Lay, goose, lay." And the goose laid a big, giant golden egg. Jack couldn't believe what he saw. He rubbed his eyes again, but it was still there. It was real. And then after that, the giant had a little nap, just right there on the table. Jack thought, this is my chance. This is my chance to redeem myself. I can steal one of these treasures and give it to my mom. So Jack crept up to the table. Somehow he managed to climb up on this giant thing, and he grabbed the bag of coins. He grabbed them, but as he was leaving the giant's house, the giant suddenly woke up, and he said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." As Jack heard his voice rumble through the house, he ran outside, ran away, thankfully, before the giant could catch him. And he somehow managed to carry all those gold coins down the beanstalk to his mother's house, where he gave it to her. Oh, she was so happy. Oh, thank you, Jack. This is great. But that night, when Jack was going to sleep, he couldn't stop thinking about the beautiful harp, the magical harp, and that beautiful golden goose that laid those eggs. So the next day, he decided to go back again. So he climbed up the beanstalk, walked through the clouds to the big giant house. He walked inside, but again, the giant was coming just as he walked in. So he ran back to the closet and he sat there and he waited and he waited. And the giant took another nap at the table. So Jack crept out of the closet, climbed up the table, and he grabbed the golden goose. But the goose squawked as he was carrying it away, and the giant woke up and said, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman." Jack ran away. Just in time. The giant didn't catch him. He managed to get all the way down the beanstalk and gave the golden goose to his mother. Well, that night again, he couldn't stop thinking about that magical, beautiful harp. So, again, he climbed up the beanstalk the next day, went in the giant's house, waited in the closet, and when the giant fell asleep, he climbed up to steal the harp. But as he grabbed the harp, she began to sing and cry, "Help me, help me." She didn't know what was going on. And so the giant woke up, and this time he saw Jack. And he chased him out of the house, and he saw the beanstalk that Jack was climbing down. So the giant chased after him. He climbed down the beanstalk too, but thankfully Jack got there first, and he grabbed an axe, and he chopped the beanstalk down so that the giant fell all the way down. He fell so hard because he was so big and heavy, he left a big hole in the ground. Jack peered over, but he couldn't see anything. Nobody heard from the giant again. And that's the end of the story. Jack lives happily ever after with his mom. But you may be thinking, wait a minute. Stealing is wrong. You're not supposed to steal things from people. This Jack guy, he doesn't sound like a very good character stealing from the giant. What did the giant ever do to him? Well, in many versions of the story, we don't hear the full version. We don't hear all of the facts about Jack and the Beanstalk because apparently the giant had been stealing from the townspeople, and that's where he got all the gold, the golden goose, and the beautiful harp. He had stolen them from the townspeople. So Jack was just stealing them back, really. But really, stealing's still wrong, right? Just a silly story. But it's kind of a fun story to think about when we're planting beans in our garden. Hi, everyone. Can you see my reflection? I'm just here in the Acorn and Bumblebee Junior Kindergarten classroom, and I wanted to look at all of these little seeds that have started to sprout and grow and see if we can find any beans, just like Jack grew in Jack and the Beanstalk. So here is a butternut squash, and these are also some different kinds of squash. They're called green egg squash because they look like big, giant green eggs. Oh, this is going to be a carving pumpkin that we can turn into jack-o'-lanterns. And, oh, there it is. This is a bush bean. That means that it's not going to grow up really tall like the beanstalk in Jack and the Beanstalk. It's just going to be really low to the ground, and it's going to still produce lots of beans that we can eat, but it's not going to be very tall. What kinds of things are you guys growing in your garden? Do you have any seeds starting inside like this? Or have you planted anything right outside? We've planted beans and seeds in our garden already, but everything else, we're going to wait for some warmer weather in May.